dreamers of this world. We are super excited because this is our very first program for YouTube, an interview program for dreamers, and dreaming all over the world. Every school of thought is welcome. Well, this is 1,000 Dreams. 1,000 Dreams is a portal, as I said, for dreams, dreamers, and dreaming. We are mainly building an app for dreams. It is an app to document, analyze data, and share dreams with the world. And we have a lot of things for the world of dreamers behind that. We have the Dreamer Quiz, that is a tool that will enable you to understand your dreamer profile. It is a game and it's not, because it's quite a serious approach that is based in a very unique way of understanding dreams that's called the dreaming landscapes. These are the ethereal territories that we visit at night or in the waking state, but with our ethereal bodies. And we also have the dreaming profiles, like the entire set of profiles that you can find in the Dreamer Quiz, but in a separate document. And last year we prepared the first essential dreaming workshop that explains in depth the dreaming landscapes, the dreaming profiles, the quiz, but also goes very deep into the history of how the recent civilization, the civilization since modern times started in the Fertile Crescent, how every culture has understood dreams. And where in the dreaming landscapes do they go, and why can we all make our dreaming landscapes our own? So this is a complete offering related to dreams, and we also want to offer this program that the name is 1,000 Dreams+1, because that is your dream and the dream of the people that we interview. And this program is done as a means of bringing awareness to the fact that we can change our physical reality with our dreams, our night dreams, or however you want to call them. So the interviews will showcase brilliant dreamers, fantastic dreams, and dreaming techniques that may help you expand your capacity to dream or your capacity to remember, because let us remind you that you are always dreaming too. Maybe you don't recall, but that's another matter. So, as I said, every school of thought is welcome. And now, for our first interview in this very first and special show, we wanted to introduce this fascinating topic with someone not only special in her own right, but also with a fantastic story about dreaming that will make us wonder why some people naturally have this connection to dreaming and why some people don't. Let's explore it together. I don't have the answer either. So our guest is Leigh Bisset from Australia. A very short bio.
Hi.
Leigh is an energy worker. Hello, Leigh. Very welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, we are super excited. Your story is fantastic, and we are going to go into that now. Well, let me introduce you. Leigh is an energy healer, and she's a gifted psychic reader, and a spiritual healer and energy worker. She now spends her time gardening and traveling, and she's exploring nature with her partner and a couple of dogs. The name of the dogs is Cwtch and Sullivan. Okay, so your life sounds quite idyllic. So let's begin with some essential questions. How did you, or when did you start to dream?
Oh, I have dream recall from the age of 2. I remember my dreams from not all of them, but more of the most significant ones. I have dreamt all my life, and I can fit a lot of dreams in one night. So some of my dreams can be, I can go dimensional travel, or I can see people who have passed, speak to angelic beings, or I can go on journeys. I also used to have very graphic, horrific dreams as a young child. I didn't understand what they were at the time, but I do now. What I was doing was revisiting past events, and I could see religious wars in graphic detail. So that was some of the things that used to happen to me when I was smaller. But when I got older, I learned how to see beautiful things as well. So yes, I've been dreaming for a long time.
That's fascinating. You remind me because in the dreamer quiz we have one question. It's how many dreams do you remember in one night? And for some people, it's kind of confusing because they are like, why can I remember more than one? Yes, you can. Just so everyone knows, because Alamus Saint Germain says that we in the sleeping state, yeah, we are dreaming 24 dreams simultaneously. One thing is that we remember them, and the other thing is that they're not happening. In fact, I sustain that every reality in the dreams is simultaneous, is parallel. Uh, and Alamus Saint Germain says that in this waking state, we are living 12 realities, at 12 dreams, so to speak, at the same time. So it's fascinating to find someone that dreams or can recall more than one dream in one night.
Yes, I definitely have more than one dream a night. I do, probably to this day, I can remember up to 5 or 6, sometimes 7. Now, I don't remember them all in fantastic detail. If I'm doing that many in one night, I tend to lock on to the most significant dream, or the one that I'm probably most interested in, or the one I'm most invested in. And sometimes that dream can end that night, and I can follow through the next day, the next night, and then pick up where I left the next night. The story continues. So, yes, it is possible to have a lot.
Yeah, well, you reminded me again of what we're doing. Because in the app we are building, one of the fundamentals is that we build stories over time in dreams. It is not about interpreting necessarily one dream or trying to make sense of only one dream. Many dreams are stories that are built in those physical, ethereal landscapes, parallel to this one in their own. They have their own unfoldment. Um, so one thing we're trying to do is like an easy way to connect dreams that are related in time. So when you see these stories unfolding over years and years and years, they make fantastic stories. So that is one of the precepts, or one of the things that we are guiding the building of our app by. So, well, but back to you, because you remind me of so many things. Okay, back to you. So that's pretty amazing. The fact that you were able to dream, to recall a dream from the age of two is pretty amazing. Do you, by any chance, remember that dream?
Dreams? Did you say? Did you say bad dreams?
Yeah, that dream of when you were 2 years old.
Oh, that dream. Oh, I do. I have a few. So I do remember that one significant one is I used to fly with my body quite freely, and I
Oh,
entered a place that was, the best way I can describe it is an elevator, and each doorway I was visiting a different dimension, and I could come in and I could come out, and I could go up to the next level, I could go into that realm, and I could walk out. And it was very conscious, and I was very aware of what I was doing. I think, I can't remember how many floors I went up, but it was about 12. The reason it stuck with me was the freedom, the feeling of freedom that I felt, and that's why I've never forgotten that. I felt probably more alive and joyful than I ever did in my life, having the freedom to move freely in different dimensions and visit different places. Every place was different. Some were scary, but it didn't matter. I knew I was safe, and I would just step out and go to the next place.
Wow, that's pretty phenomenal. It makes every sense to me. If you remember, well, I don't know if you listened to that material, but in Dream Worlds, for the ones that don't know, is an interview that Adamus Saint Germain offered me in relation to the project. The truth, it was more about dreams and dreaming. And at the end, there were a couple of questions about the thousand dreams, but well, it was a very generous offer. And the way that he presented dreaming was that you went up an elevator. So let's say that the dreams that were more related to this physical reality were like a floor, like a floor, the base floor of the building, the mezzanine, or so there's a lot of noise in those first floors, and I can understand that in those floors the mind works a lot. So there's a lot of overlap of the mind still like chatters in those first floors, and then you go up, up, up. For a reason I didn't understand, or where at least he didn't make clear, he said that the building had 24 floors. It's interesting that he used 24 again, because he had already said that in dreams we were experiencing 24 realities in the dreaming, in the sleeping state, and 12 in the waking state. It is interesting because these two pieces of information don't come from the same material. The first one, how many dreams we dream, comes from an early material in Pronost. If I'm not mistaken, it's 2020. And this last material from DreamWorks was recorded last year. Well, in any case. So he says that you enter the building and you go up, 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 up the ladder, or the elevator or whatever. And up until, and this he didn't say in DreamWorks, but up until Heaven's Cross, that was in March, we'll explain now for the viewers that don't know what is Heaven's Cross. Up until Heaven's Cross, you couldn't go further, further from the 12th floor. And it's interesting that you mentioned that it was the 12th floor. And it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
So I have a very scientific friend that I consult with her some of the things that, just these special details that I really want to be sure that I'm not making a mistake or saying something I shouldn't be saying. And we were trying to equate the dreaming landscapes to the floors of the building, because of course the building was an analogy that Adamus makes, but it's not mine. Mine is the dreaming landscape. So we were trying to see, okay, if you are in the 12th floor, where are you? Well, in the 12th floor until Heaven's Cross, you were the closest you could be with your soul. That was the 12th floor.
Wow.
And if I'm not mistaken, the 10th floor you encounter whales because the resonance is very high, and so on and so forth. Normally, for people that are not like into these kind of things, or they don't have the connection to dreams so open, they normally would dream in the first 3 floors. So going up requires, I think, I suspect it requires a lot of trust, because you're venturing far away in the dreaming landscapes, or as Adamus says, in the dream worlds. But the other thing that calls my attention of this, sorry, I'm talking more than you now. We'll get back to you in a minute. But it calls my attention because some people that do the quiz, the dreamer quiz, some of them report, as they offer us a special dream, they share with us a special dream, and some of them said that one dream was having this elevator. It's kind of having the Willy Wonka elevator. Remember, you saw the movie that the elevator goes up and it doesn't really need a structure, it just flies, and it can go like one way or the other, or very much like the Harry Potter elevator. So just thinking about dreams just makes all the sense in the world. After Heaven's Cross, the access to the other or the next 12 floors has been opened, as far as I understand. Of course, this is only an analogy for people that are like introducing themselves to this dreaming thing. The dream worlds are infinite, and everybody can have their own personal dreaming landscapes. So don't worry. We can try to arrange them in a coherent structure, but it's not that the building has 24 floors and there's no other way. Just so you know, there are infinite dream worlds. Well, in any case, so that is fantastic. So back to you. Yeah, sorry, back to you. Um, so you well, you say, I mean, this is pretty overwhelming. I don't remember my dreams from my early ages until I was 18, but when I started dreaming, it was overwhelming, and I just couldn't leave. It was too much. It was too much. I was out of here every time I put my head in the pillow. So I suspect. How was it for you? How can you live remembering several dreams at a night, a day?
I don't know how to speak for other people, how they'll remember their dreams. And I do know what you're saying about the dreams being too much. They're too much, as in too many, and they're too much because you physically experience it as if you're there and you're acting it out and you're doing it. It's too much because it's mentally draining, it's emotionally draining. Um, Yes, I had to learn how to manage my dreams, and I think I started to teach myself when my children came along because they were both hyperactive ADD, under 5, and I wasn't getting any rest during the day or at night, and I got very, very exhausted. And I did get to a
Wow.
while I love and embrace my dreams now, there was a time when I did ask them to stop, and they did stop. But I had to go through a bit of a learning curve there and teach myself how to be the observer in my dream, and then the exhaustion stopped. So before I went to sleep, I would just simply say, tonight I will watch what is happening. I do not have to feel the pain, I do not have to feel scared. I can, if I walk
Wow.
in the feeling of beauty or happiness, I'm quite well, I'm quite welcome to. But I did begin to teach myself how to be the observer. And that's the key to being able to remember your dreams, because you're not emotionally invested in them. I believe that because we're expending so much energy in those dreams, we're mentally exhausted, and you can't retain all of that. This lifetime is big enough and hard enough to retain memory for all those other ones. So I think it was a matter of learning how to give myself the space to become the observer. And I learned how to actually speak to myself, the character I was playing in the dream, and say, it's okay, it's not going to hurt you, you're dreaming. I actually learned how to do that.
Okay. I mean, just uh, as a token of possibilities for the listeners, for this dream team that is out there listening at this moment, they just don't know yet because this is the first program. I solved it differently. It is very interesting because in dream worlds, we were speaking with Adamus and Germain, and he said, and I said, well, you pay a toll. I was elaborating, like you pay a toll when you go to dreaming landscapes and then go back. I didn't have that term at the moment, but at that time. But I said it takes a toll physically, as you say. Like I get back super tired, super drained. If I was in the dream in an excursion, I feel as if I went physically to that excursion. I'm tired when I come back. And he said, you shouldn't. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Well, maybe I shouldn't, but I do. I'm super drained when I get back. And he said, uh, well, the thing is that in the material in Dream Worlds, there's a recording, and that's the music of the of Dream Worlds infused with energies. And the first night that the product was out there, that the Crimson Circle got the product out there for sale, I listened to the. I had the product and I listened to the audio, and that night I stopped having those. It stopped being draining for me. It was like that, like magic. Whatever happened that night with that music, infused with the energies of Alamo Saint Germain, that stopped the draining for me. It was pretty spectacular. So, well, now we have two options for heavy dreamers that want to have a better experience at night, because, yeah, I totally understand. How fascinating. Okay, we're going to do a quick break, and we'll be back for the next segment of questions. So, Leigh, we are back from our little break, and now we're ready to dive deeper into your story. And I was fascinated to know. I mean, we can speak for ages about very specific dreams, and of course, I suppose we can meet again and again and again to speak about particular dreams, and we'll do that. But the part of what caught my attention greatly was that in your story there was a point that it was so overwhelming to dream that you stopped wanting to dream, if I'm not mistaken. And then what happened? So can you tell us, how did you come to that point? What did you ask, and then what happened with that?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Um, as I mentioned, I had two young children under 5. Both were hyperactive ADD, and I chose not to medicate them. So my days were very, very full. And at night time, because I dreamed so much and so often, and I was exhausted. And it did get to a point where I felt overburdened and overwhelmed by my dreams. I felt like I couldn't tell the difference between my dreaming life and my day life, because I was also extremely sleep deprived. I think one of the children only slept 4 hours every day. They were busy.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
so I think,
So, yeah, absolutely.
and it's interesting because I think before any change can happen, there's usually an event to trigger that change. And obviously, I needed
Yeah.
something to put me on another path other than the one that I was on. And I wasn't listening to, I don't know if you want to call it spirit or I listened to my intuition, but I wasn't listening to the other parts of me that had abilities. I denied them. And so after a particularly bad night of dreaming, I think I dreamed about my uncle's legs being chopped off. I was watching them cut off. They did get cut off, by the way. But
Oh,
I was watching that, and I remember waking up very, very angry. I sat up on my bed, and the thought of facing another day without any energy, with nothing left in me, I was angry. And I don't know who I was speaking to, but I believe I was probably yelling at spirit and blaming them. And I said to them, make them stop. I'm saying it politely now, but I wasn't polite. I meant it. I yelled it and I was angry. And I said, make them stop. I can't do it anymore. And they stopped that night. That was the end of my dreams. But
Wow.
what did happen was my oldest son, who was 5 at the time, I had to keep getting up to soothe him because he was having restless sleeps. He was crying and he was whimpering. And I didn't think too much on it. Got up the next day, the next night came around. I had a dreamless sleep again until my son woke me up crying. So I went back to soothe him. And I was wondering what's going on because he's normally such a good sleeper. But then I went to bed and I received one dream, and that was that I was killed in a car crash. And I woke up in the morning the next day, came. My son was tired and he asked me, why is he dreaming so much? I didn't really have the answer, but I started to feel quite uneasy. So this tracked like this for a week straight. That pattern of me soothing him, he's having night terrors by the end of the week. I am still dreaming the one dream that I die in a car crash. So on the 7th day, kids are playing, their father's in the kitchen. I had some errands to run, so I picked up the car keys, and I went downstairs to go and get some milk or something simple like that. Zaki, my youngest, comes screaming, chasing after me, and he was hysterical, and he said, "Mummy, please don't go. You can't get in the car without me." And I said, "Why? Why, Zaki? Why can't I come with you? I mean, why do you have to come with me?" And he said, "You can't get in that car, Mum, you won't come home." I said, "What makes you think I won't come home?" And he said, "If you get in there, you will die." And I said to him, "What makes you think I will die?" And he said, "I see it in my dreams. I dream you die in a car crash, you won't come home." And so I put the keys back on the table. That was it. I did not drive that day. I don't think I drove that week. That was too much of a coincidence. So it's not a coincidence, it's a message. So that night,
But let me get a couple of things straight. You said to your spirit or to your soul, or stop. It was
yeah. So
to your soul.
at that time where my consciousness and I think my belief system was then, because I was a very different person then, I had a very different set of belief system. I thought things that happen to us is external. I now know that I wasn't yelling at spirit, I was yelling at myself, and I was giving myself the command to stop. Yeah, so I do understand that
Okay.
now. It wasn't spirit's fault at all. It was my choice. So yeah. So
Yes. Okay. So very appropriate. Yeah. In Spanish, it's exactly. Yeah, perfect. That we know that. Yeah. And the other thing is, let me get it straight. Your child, you were both having the same dream. Yes. Okay.
yeah,
Just wanted to
yeah.
make sure of that. Okay. Wow.
So that
Okay.
yeah, so that night, I mean, once he told me that, I knew. I just knew. I thought my dreams have gone to him, and I as a mum, just the thought of your little baby seeing some of the things that I used to see, you wouldn't wish it on your child, absolutely not. So I was pretty devastated. Um, but I put him to bed that night and I told him, "It's going to be okay. Mummy's going to take the dreams back. Okay. And then you can sleep properly."
Wow.
Yeah. And I did. I went into my room. I didn't know what to do because I resented, you got to remember, I resented my dreams at this stage. I fought them. I didn't embrace them. They were something that was happening to me. I didn't accept them as a part of me. And so I sat on the bed and spoke to spirit again. And I said, "I don't know
Yeah.
what you want me to do." I said, "But whatever it is, I'll promise to do it. Just give them back to me." I'll do whatever you want. And ironically, when we're in times of distress, the things that we reach out for to look for a little sign or that little piece of hope, ironically, my partner's had a Bible in the cupboard, and I just looked at it. I wasn't a Bible person myself, although I do believe in a higher power. And I said to myself, I will just open one passage, and if there's a message in there, I will do that. Whatever Spirit asks me to do, I will do that, because I made a promise, and those dreams will come back to me and leave my son alone. And I remember opening up one passage and looking, and I committed to just reading the one passage. And I only remember these words from it, but it was enough it propelled me in a completely different life direction. And it said, the words were, "Do not fear, for I have given you a gift. And with this gift, I will send you the Comforter. And you will know love that is not fragile and laced with conditions like human love, but you will know love of the angels." It went along those lines, and I closed the book. And I said, okay, I'm going to follow this path of understanding my own energy. And sure enough, my dreams came back that night, and I've kept my promise.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's got me onto the path, and that's how actually I ended up finding Crimson Circle and being led to Adamus and Tobias.
Yeah, for the ones that don't know what the Crimson Circle is, or who is Adamus Saint Germain, just quickly to say, Crimson Circle is actually a consciousness group that is formed by many, many, many souls on the planet that we agreed to be walking this path together in this lifetime. Essentially, the channelings are done by, uniquely, are done by Geoffrey Hoppe and Linda Hoppe in the US. They are now near Denver. And they started channeling Tobias. He's an ascended master for the first 10 years. And then Adamus Saint Germain took over. Why Adamus and not only Saint Germain? Because many people know Saint Germain. Adamus is a facet of Saint Germain that's specifically tailored, or it's perfect for this group. It's a little bit irreverent. It doesn't have the religious overlays, and it's not a serious approach, and so it's different. But in any case, Geoffrey also channels on occasion Saint Germain himself, and it's quite spectacular, and also Katumi. Some other characters from time to time, some of the lifetimes of the very and only one Saint Germain, like Mark Twain, and on occasion some other people. The recent Light of the Merlin event, that's the name, had Steve Jobs, for example, or Gaia. So if you're interested, go there. This is advertising for the Crimson Circle. Anyway, okay. So just for if you don't know what is that group and Saint Germain, well, there you are. Saint Germain, that's more famous. He had a life in the 1800s and quite prominent, and he was already enlightened in that lifetime, and he tried to do a lot of good things. And he did what he could because many of the choices in the planet are not his to make. So, for a brief introduction. So yeah, you got to the Crimson Circle in the end. How spectacular. Oh, okay. So we'll discuss, or maybe we don't have the answer, because I certainly don't. This is fascinating to me. This is the first time that I hear of something like what you are sharing. So I'm not really sure if we have an answer, but my question would be, this is a gift. This is a gift given by, if you believe in spirit, if many of us believe in our own self, it's a gift from ourselves. Uh, but it is what do you make of the fact that if you receive a gift, then you don't actually receive it, then your child gets it? I never thought of dreaming as a gift. Well, now that I think of it, yeah, it is. But as a gift that you can just pass along. What do you make of it?
Even though that experience happened to me, I've never heard of anyone passing that on either. That gift. I believe the gift, I don't know why it happened other than we must have had some sort of agreement, or Zach and I were so closely connected that he is just a part of me. I haven't got the answer to that, but I will say dreaming is a gift. It's a part of our soul. It is a part of us. It is the messenger. It is the confidant. It knows us deeper and more intimately than we could ever know ourselves. And therefore, we get to see all aspects of who we are through our dreams. Our dreams are also a gift because they're the conduit for communication with angelic beings, for people who have passed, for the loved ones we think we've lost. We haven't lost, they're still there. Dreams are the pathway to visiting other dimensions, and I believe dreams teach us that we are meant to be expanded beings on this planet and have the freedom to expand our energy here, not just in our dream state. I think it teaches us how to do that. If we go flying, we know there's something more. If we go visiting other dimensions, we intuitively know there's something more. So we're not keeping our thoughts small. We're not keeping our consciousness locked into, oh, this is all there is in this world. Because there's not, there's more. And I think that's the gift of dreams. I couldn't live without them now. And just referring back to what I said before, I didn't embrace them. When I did do that with my son and I called my dreams back and I asked for them back, I committed to embracing them. I committed to loving them, and I stopped fighting them. And that's when they changed. They completely changed. They became
Oh,
they, they would give me warnings, they'll be prophetic, they were gentle, they're loving, beautiful. So yeah, I think the key is stop fighting, just love it, because it's actually a part of you that you're learning to love and accept. And that's the free dimensional being that we all are.
I know. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal. In the dreaming landscapes is this. It is an analogy, but a very serious analogy. And in these landscapes, you find everything about yourself. So what we say is, you are the master of your dreaming domains. However you want to see that. Um, but this dimension that you are adding, like having compassion for yourself and acceptance of what's yours, then of course changes the dynamic. That's quite phenomenal. So let us do a final cut, a final break, and we'll be back for final comments. Welcome back, Dream Team, to this first interview of 1,000 Dreams+1. And we are here with Leigh Bisset from Australia with this very fantastic story about how her gift was passed to her son and then she got it back. Pretty spectacular. So, Leigh, I would like to know now, how has the dreaming affected, or how have you used your dreams in your energy work? Because I know that you are very good following energy lines and looking for potentials, or how has your dreams and your dreaming affected or benefited this healing activity that you do for others and for yourself?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, and it takes an event to trigger change. And I sat on that bed and I made that promise. And it's because of my dreams. My dreams is what got me there to make that promise and to make that commitment. So after reading that passage in the Bible, I committed to learning about my own energy and how my energy works. That's the gift, the ultimate dream, ultimate gift my dreams have given me, is I've learned how to understand my energy. And therefore, once I learn to understand my own energy, I can understand other people's. Now, my dreams do help me because they will give me warnings. They will, if I'm confused about something, they will give me the story or the backdrop of why an event's happening a certain way or why a person's behaving a certain way. They do assist in that area as well. The dreams, I believe, have taught me to trust myself and trust my intuition. The key to any energy work, any psychic work, energy work, whatever you want to call it, any healing, is you have to have a lot of self-belief and a lot of trust. You have to have self-love. And that's what my dreams have taught me. I learned anything that you don't fight and you embrace, it transmutes the negative energy. And that's the biggest gift and lesson my dreams have taught me. Well, there we are, and that's how I can do it.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Okay, and
To be honest, it
tell me.
is such a expanded answer and question. I've tried to shorten it. There is so much more, but it's going to be a bit long.
I know. This thing that you do that is following energy lines. How does that work?
Oh, I just look at you, you speak. You can't help but have a line attached to somebody that you're speaking about. And then I just follow that line. It's really easy. Anyone can do it. They can do it. It's very easy. So you're speaking to, say, your sister, and you're asking me a question about your sister. We all have an energy link to that person that we're connected to, whether we like them or we don't like them, whether we love them or we don't love them. Anyone who's in our thought and in our field or in our energy, we have a connection to them. Therefore, any information that they have, it comes to you, and vice versa. Any information that you have, it can go to them if they choose to access that. It doesn't mean to say that we're being invasive. We're not. It's usually an exchange that's agreed upon by people. If somebody doesn't want you to look, you don't look. It's quite simple.
Well, and well, can you share with us one dream in particular that you think stands out of your many adventures in dreams?
Oh, yes. Oh, I have a lot. Yes, one that stands out. It will probably bore you to bits, but it excites me. I have. I'm able to speak to Adamus and Adamus Saint Germain, and
Oh,
we
cool.
communicate back and forth. And there are times he will tell me off if I'm not managing my energy correctly, or if I'm being too direct, too distracted by things. He will come in and gently have a conversation with me. He will also teach me about energy, and my own personal energy and aspects that I need to manage. My conversations with him are my favorite. But he did come to me one day all dressed up in a big fancy suit, and he looked very handsome, and he handed me a book, and he said, Leigh, he said, I want you to write a book about creative expression. And I said to him, yes, in the dream, like I knew what he was talking about, because the Leigh in the dream knew what he was talking about. This Leigh has no idea what he was talking about. And it's taken me, I know what it is now, but it's taken me 15 years to find out what he meant.
Oh,
Yes, one of my favorites. Yeah.
whoa. Okay, you remind me one dream with Adamus. It was October 2021. And it was a long conversation because he was wanting someone to work to change collective consciousness away from the mind or something in those lines. But that dream was super intense because I was in the car and I entered a complex of an office building, and in this huge land there was a party, like a corporate party of the end of the year or something like that. And then I was at the table with these people I didn't know before. Those were the owners of the company, and then Adamus called me, and so I was like with the cell phone within this party, and I had to walk away from the table because Adamus was calling, and then he was on and on and on and on. I remember it was the longest dream, but what I remember that made me laugh, it was like, oh, I now know what Joffrey feels when talking to Adamus, because he was like on and on and on and on. It's interesting because after that dream, that was October 2021, the next year in April, I had the idea for 1,000 dreams. So maybe it was related because in the dream I was telling Adamus, yes, 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 I can do it. I am the one. You can trust me. I am the one. I'm your one. We have a different expression in Spanish, but in English, yes, yes, I can do it. So well, yeah, but my conversations with Adamus in dreams are not that often. I can see that you speak a lot with him, and can you call him anytime? Like, I want to speak to you with you tonight, and then you remember having
Yeah, we can call.
had this conversation.
Yeah, we can call anytime. They're always there, whether it's him or Tobias. Whether I listen is another. Sometimes I just want to go to sleep and I leave me alone. But yeah, anytime,
Yeah,
and he's there for
I think so.
anyone who calls. Honestly, yeah.
Oh, how cool, how nice. Yeah, they are always like around. And if you are not part of this group and don't know Adam Saint Germain, you dream team out there, don't worry, you're never alone anyway.
Yes, this is true.
You are surely very well accompanied by someone that
Yeah.
is taking care of your back.
You'd be very disturbed if you knew how many people are actually with you.
Are cheering you on.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. So, dear Dream Team, if you are out there, well, you are out there and you will connect to this interview at some point in the future, but you are energetically here. So, Dream Team, we this is the last segment, just to wrap it up and make some final comments. So, Leigh, what do you take away from this short interview and the minutes we've been here, or about dreaming, or about your experience? What do you want to share with us that we haven't asked?
Mm. What do I want to share that you haven't asked? Dreams are the doorway to freedom. If you're feeling like something's missing, your dreams will help you find that part that's missing, because what's missing is you. They will assist you. You just have to ask. They'll be there. They'll guide you. They'll be your best friend, your confidant, and they'll hold you when you fall. Dreams teach you how to listen to your inner voice, how to trust your intuition, and that's the first step to that self-love. Dreams actually lead you to the God within, and that's all I'd really have to say about them for the final farewell. Do it.
Beautiful.
If you want to dream, just ask, and you don't dream, just ask. They'll be there. And if they don't come when you ask, demand it. You order them to come, and they will be there.
Yes, I agree, because it's the effects of focusing or your awareness in a topic, and then it needs to respond. But I am sure that the dream team is going to ask, well, how do I remember my dreams? It is just like you said, you command them or demand them in your life, or command your remembrance. In any case, part of this exploration in this program is to find ways that have been useful for people to remember their dreams. We, just as a quick comment, we do have in the Essential Dreaming Workshop, it is kind of a Lemurian kind of meditation that helps you do a conscious choice, or take a conscious choice to start remembering your dreams, or to open your connection to the dreaming landscapes, however you want to call them. So there are ways, but we'll be exploring these many possibilities. But what you are saying, Leigh, about just command your dreams, and if you don't remember them, in any case, believe that you are having them, that you are going in dreams where you wanted to go when you were awake, and it is so. So, as you say, demand your answers, demand your beautiful stories out of dreams, and we'll be getting there here in the program. Anything else?
Thank you for having me.
Oh no, well, thanks to you for having this time. There's many hours of difference with Australia. It's 15 hours of difference.
Yep.
But we made it. Leigh can be found if someone wants to get in touch with her for her energy healing and spiritual coaching, or well, it's not coaching. It's, let me say it correctly, properly. It is
Spiritual healing.
spiritual healer, energy worker, and psychic reading. You can find Leigh in Facebook, and you can send her a message via Messenger. That's the
Yeah.
easiest way. Rather, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. The
Yeah.
easiest way to get with you. Okay, we're gonna leave the name here so that you can look out for her in Facebook. I hope there are not many Leigh Bissets in Facebook, right?
I'm rare.
Okay, well, never mind.
There's
We'll
not
add
many.
the link
Yeah.
to the profile so that nobody gets confused about writing to a Leigh Bisset
Yeah.
in whatever. Okay,
All right.
so thank you very much for your time and for
Thank
being
you.
here. It's
My pleasure.
you're very welcome.
Thank you.
A nice exploration of this that we are just beginning. As we said at the very beginning, this is we're just getting started. So
Yeah.
stay here with us. We hope that you found this interesting, or at the very least that you had a little bit of fun and a little bit of magic talking about dreams. So see you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.